Moving on to the next part of Battle of the Goats, and we are starting this part off on a good note with Death Note. We got a true goat right here. Death Note is awesome. It's an amazing anime. My only criticism with this show is just that there was a decision that was made. For those of you who watch it, you probably know where I'm going with this. There was a decision that was made, I want to say, like 2/3 of the way into the show, that I wasn't like too crazy about. Like, I would have been cool with it if the way they handled the follow up, if they handled it better than what they did. I would have been like more like cool with it, but it was the way they handled it. I can't get too specific. It's still a really good show, though. This was the first anime that I started and finished. The very first one, so it also has, that nostalgia factor pretty much. Yeah, I watched it on Netflix. Man, this show has actually been on Netflix for a really long time, now that I think about it. Unless they had taken it off and put it back on, like, at certain points. But, yeah, this is a really classic anime right here. Classic. I don't think it's not like 90s or anything. It's like, I think 2005 or 2006. But, no, I mean, this is, the ranking it got. It totally deserved it. Light Yagami is one of the best anime protagonists of all time, easily. Um, yeah, I would, just for, because Lelouch is also an amazing, anime protagonist, and I've seen those two compared a lot. Um, I actually probably would say, like, Lelouch is probably better just because of how, I can't, like, say specifically why, but yeah, I'll just leave it at that. But overall, I think Death Note is like a lot easier to follow than Code Geass. And again, I need to rewatch Code Geass, but no, Death Note is super super entertaining. It's highly addicting. Once you get to the end of episode two, it's just such a thrill ride. Like this is thriller anime at its finest right here. Very very good anime, and the supernatural element was not like overdone or anything in my opinion. The supernatural stuff was very easy to follow. I even got my parents into this anime too, because I knew they would, enjoy this one. Because it's not hard to follow at all, in my opinion. It's a really just solid anime. It could have been better, but like, if they would have handled what I was talking about earlier a little bit better, but still, the ending really, really makes up for it too. Like, the ending is just like stupid entertaining. It's just a really good show. Alright, on to another good anime, but I watched like a chunk of this anime, Hunter x Hunter. I watched like a chunk of it. It was good, like it was good, but for whatever reason I haven't gotten back into it. Uh, but it's a good show. It's good. I just need to get back into it at some point. I hear that like this little guy on the right is one of the best anime characters ever. So I'm curious as to why that is. I did meet him at the part that I'm at. I have met him already, so I can kind of see like the seeds being planted there. But we'll see whenever I get back to it. All right, next up we got Fargo. Uh, yeah, these are some more. Haven't watched it, but I might. I don't think I know anything about Fargo. When I looked up the cover picture, I noticed Chris Rock was like in the cover picture, which I didn't know Chris Rock was in the show. I don't know if maybe that was just something completely random that I noticed, but anyway, we also got Twin Peaks. Haven't watched it, but I might. and Narcos. Have not watched it, but I might. Now, Peaky Blinders is kind of a special case for me because I actually got the ending spoiled for me for this. It's a very highly rated show. I did have an interest in it, but it was also a show that I didn't feel super compelled to watch. Uh, the main actor is like really good. I like that actor. I just watched him in Oppenheimer. Actually, he was really good in that too. I can't remember his name for some reason though. But anyways, yeah, cause see, usually when I get endings spoiled for me, I usually like just don't want to even watch the show. But in my opinion, the ending didn't sound that bad, so I think I'll just be a little generous and put it, and I might watch it. I might watch it, regardless of having the ending spoiled for me. So there you go. Now we got Steins Gate. Oh boy. Oh man, I like this is super random by the way. I just got into the show like last night, literally, not even kidding. um, I watched like the first the first 10 episodes last night. I got super into this show, man. Um, Now I will say the first episode I watched like years ago and couldn't get into it, and that's kind of like the main reason why I put it on this list because I was gonna put it in this category, and I'm still gonna put it in this category because I still haven't watched enough of the show to like because there's still a lot of mystery going on right now, like with the point I'm at. It's 48 episodes, but and I'm 10 episodes in, but there's still a lot of stuff that I don't know as far as what's going on with the plot. But man, it is like once you get past the first episode, like it starts getting like really addicting. Because the end of the second episode, like I loved it. I was like, whoa, okay. It was like a pretty interesting way to end the episode, and I couldn't stop watching after that. Kind of reminds me of Death Note actually. I mean, the first episode of Death Note, I will say, is definitely better than the first episode of this show. I'll say that because it was honestly the first episode of Steins Gate was kind of like alienating in my opinion because like um it was really like confusing, like the way like scenes would play out as well as like the main character's just like the main character is just like off his rocker. Like he's really really nutty, but he is entertaining. And that's kind of why I enjoyed the first episode more the second time I watched it, because I was just more enjoying his character. And I kind of already knew, like, more what I was getting into when I started watching it again. But, yeah, I watched that first episode with my sister. She didn't like it. She was confused the whole time, and I honestly don't blame her. I don't blame her at all. But, no, I mean, the second episode, the end of that got me. I was like, oh, okay, now I'm interested. But yeah, this has been a good show so far, but I need to finish it before I could put it in a more definitive tier on this list. Really good show so far. It's also like obviously highly rated on IMDb. That's why I included it on the list. So really good show so far. Just when you leave off on the first episode feeling like really confused, like just try to like just get to the second episode. Like just try to give it to the end of the second episode, and if you still don't like it, then you may not you just may not like the show. But yeah, I'm very curious, very very into this show right now. I'm definitely gonna be watching some more today. Alright, so on to some more good shows. We got The Boys, and it is a true GOAT. I love this show. The Boys is really good. I don't think it's overrated. I know season 3 was like, it was like a more like, I guess you would call it like slower paced, but like it was still really good. Like season 3 was like a very like character driven season. I thought it was still really good. The first two seasons were also super good. Probably, yeah, I would probably say my favorite season was the first one. Yeah, that was probably my favorite season, the more I think about it. Oh my god, Homelander, oh my god, he is one of the most memorable, like, intimidating villains of all time. Like, Homelander is something else. Like, Anthony Starr, perfect casting choice. Perfect. I saw Tom Hiddleston as Loki is also a perfect casting choice. I would say Anthony Starr even more so as Homelander. Like, yeah, I cannot picture anybody else playing Homelander after seeing Anthony Starr play that man. Like, it's honestly kind of like he is Homelander. Like, it's honestly hard, like, seeing him play any other role at this point. Like, it would probably be weird, not gonna lie. He owns that role. He kills it. Kills. Kills it. Like, he is such a good villain. He's like, literally, if you needed only one reason to watch a show, like, watching Homelander in the show, like, that would be the one reason to watch this show, honestly. Like, obviously everything else about the show is also really good, but Homelander alone is just, like, such a good character, so entertaining. Like, this show would be very different without Homelander. I'll tell you that right now. So, watch The Boys if you haven't already. Although, if you don't have Amazon Prime, that's unfortunate. You'll just probably have to pirate it because it's totally worth the watch. 100% recommend. Next up, we've got Vinland Saga. For now, I'm gonna put Vinland Saga in. It's goated. It's goated. It's goated. The first season was really, really good. It did end in a way that I kind of predicted it to, but that's not to say it was bad. Like, I kind of saw it coming, but, like, no, I mean, it was really good still. Like, really solid action. The plot, like, is very unique in my opinion. It has a pretty unique plot. The first season, at least. The second season is taking a very different direction, very different. But I actually love it. Like, I love the direction it's going. The only reason why I haven't caught up with season two is just because midway in the season this is how they have it on Netflix. Like, now it's like in Japanese only. I don't know why they didn't have the full dub on there. I don't. I mean, I can watch anime in Japanese perfectly fine. It's just, when you go from English to Japanese like that, like, it's kind of, it can be a little much, for my taste. So I started watching it in English. I kept watching it in English. Then it switched to Japanese like that. So it was kind of like kind of put me off to it, honestly. So, but I definitely want to catch up with season two. I feel like it's probably, like, super good. Because, yeah, this is another fairly highly rated show on IMDb, and I think it deserves it so far. The reason why I don't put it in True Go is kind of, the reasons I've been saying I haven't caught up with it. Also, it's kind of like a preference issue too, because, like, the first season did have, like I've been saying in these parts, political jargon can oftentimes put me off a little bit, and this show kind of has some of that. So that's just, it's just a matter of my personal preference. So, but it is very close to True Go category for sure. For sure, it's a really good show. Speaking of more, it's goated. We have Doctor Stone. It's goated. I really like Doctor Stone. I honestly don't get the criticisms of people saying the show's boring. Like, because it goes like, because the way the show starts off is pretty fast paced. Like it is, I will say it is kind of like that when you first start the show, and then like after a while it does get slower paced, but I don't find it boring though. I find it very, very interesting because like the whole point of the show is, the science aspect. I don't want to like spoil the plot of the show because I think the plot of the show is pretty interesting. But yeah, I mean, people think it was people say it's boring because of how heavily they utilize science in this show. They say that's boring, but nah, I think that makes it like really interesting. I think that makes it like a the show a standout shonen anime for sure. I like the characters. I think it's a lot of fun. Like I think the show is like funny. The characters play off each other very well. Because like I was saying, the beginning of it is pretty fast paced. It's like pretty intense. The beginning of the show is really intense, and then when things settle down, like they really like settle down. But I mean, it's kind of like built up to more intense stuff, honestly. So I mean, because I mean, this show does pick up, and it's like obviously gonna happen too. The show makes it obvious that it's gonna pick up. So I really don't get the criticism of it being boring. I don't get it. So I think it's goated. It's a really good show. Really good. Really good. I even saw a Facebook friend give the show some love. And I think that was well deserved. Because, it's not really the most popular show either, so I think it definitely deserves some love. Okay, speaking of unpopular shows, we got American Vandal, and this is goated. This is goated. I think American Vandal is a really good show. This is probably American Vandal is probably the most like mockumentary show I've ever seen. Like even show is even more mockumentary than The Office because like it literally feels like you're watching an actual like documentary when you watch the show. Like some people like this is hilarious, but some people literally didn't even realize that the show was fake. Like, I mean, that's pretty weird to me. But no, I mean, literally, people didn't even realize this show was fake because of how mockumentary it is. But no, it's fake. Like, don't be fooled. It's a fake show. Like, and it's not even trying to necessarily fool you. It's just very good at replicating the documentary style. So, American Vandal is really good. I don't want to give because this is the 2 seasons. Because unfortunately, it's only 2 seasons long. It ended up getting canceled, unfortunately. But the 2 seasons are kind of like they're kind of anthologically. They're kind of like an anthology, but they are like loosely connected through like the main character and his also the main character's like sidekick. Um, that's how they're connected. But no, I mean they're both basically like complete stories though, so that's why I still like highly recommend it. I would say the main reason why I don't put it in true go category is just because uh, like basically the way the first season ends, even though I still think it's a complete story, the way the first season ends, like you're not like fully satisfied by the end of the first season. Now, season two, I think, kind of like makes up for it by giving you a much more like satisfying ending. But the end of the first season isn't like totally satisfying. It's a little more like don't get me wrong, I like open endings. Like I can really really like open endings, but the open ending for the first season of American Vandal though, it was a little unsatisfying because this show like focuses a lot on like a mystery. Like there are two separate mysteries in the show, right? And basically the whole show, like, well, each season is just the main characters trying to like play detective and get to the bottom of these mysteries, and that aspect is done really well. I think the show is really funny too. It's a very funny show. But you know, if you don't like the humor of the show, then you may not like the show then, because the humor does play a huge part of it. But like for me personally, what really wraps me in was the mysteries. I really love how the show goes into the mystery like detective aspect. So that was my main draw with the show. Yeah, I really recommend the show. It's very overlooked, very underappreciated. I like American Vandal. All right, and now we're back to the true goats, cause y'all already know that Invincible is a true goat. Is such a true goat. Is such a good show. I remember, yeah, there was that point in time where I was so hype about the show, I was literally posting like my own memes on Facebook about it. Sorry to anybody, any Facebook friends on here that had to endure that. yeah, that was pretty bad. But anyways, yeah, Invincible is a very very good show. Unfortunately, when it was getting memed, there were probably a whole bunch of people who weren't even watching it who had like some really huge moments in the story like totally spoiled for them, and so sorry to people who ended up getting that stuff spoiled, because that stuff was easily the best stuff in the show. Uh, Not saying the stuff beforehand was bad. It wasn't. Like, it was an entertaining show from beginning to end, in my opinion. But, yeah, it really showed out, and I think it was the second to last episode. I might be wrong. It may have been, like, the last two episodes specifically. But I'll just say that, like, it gets, like, it definitely gets better and better as it goes. Like, it's a show that literally just gets better and better. The first season, anyway. I'll say just the first season, because the second season isn't even out yet. So, I mean, technically speaking, it is a little generous putting it all the way up here, because there hasn't been a whole lot of Invincible content, you know. We did get a special episode recently, and that was really good. I liked that episode. It was the origin story for the character Adam Eve, and that it was really good in my opinion. Not as interesting as Invincible's origin story, but it was something. It was good. I really liked it. So yep, Invincible is a true goats. Hit those emotional beats very well. Alright, moving on to even more hero content. Yeah, it looks like we got a lot of hero content here to discuss. We're gonna start off with my. Oh wait, no. This is a One Punch Man. Alright, so starting off with One Punch Man, we are gonna call this a true GOAT. I love One Punch Man, but here's the thing: I'm only ranking the first season. I don't know anything about the second season, or I don't even know if there's like a third season out yet. But I'm only ranking the first season. The reason why I give it that treatment and didn't give it that same treatment to The Promised Neverland is just because I know the story of The Promised Neverland, both like in the manga and in the show. So I know how the second season ended up in the show as well. One Punch Man, I don't know anything about the second season, so that's why I'm strictly going off the first season. First season of One Punch Man is awesome. It is so good. Like, basically, not to give anything away, but this show is basically like a spoof of anime, honestly. That's kind of the best way to look at how One Punch Man operates as its own show. It totally makes fun of anime. It's like a spoof. I think it's brilliant. I think it's like a genius concept, and it is done exceptionally well in the first season. Saitama, he's a character who has sparked a lot of debate in the anime community as far as like how powerful he really is, because people love pitting him against Goku. Um, I mean, I don't really see why people get so up in arms about that type of thing, because he is a pretty controversial character. So this is a pretty like influential anime, honestly. But no, I mean, if you just watch the show though, it's just a very like entertaining show, very funny show. It's even got some good action, because even though the main character is just like literally just a big spoof of super powerful anime characters in general, it still has some really good action scenes with the side characters. Not to give away why. I mean, it's kind of honestly, it's kind of suggested in the title, One Punch Man, but I'm still not going to give away why. But like, Saitama, uh, you're not really going to get like super great action scenes whenever he's involved in them. So I'll just say that much. But excellent, excellent first season, excellent show. I still need to watch the second season, so that might change my opinion of how good the overall show is. But the first season alone is just 100% worth a really good show. And yeah, next time we come back, I'm gonna get into some more superhero shows. We got the Netflix Marvel shows coming up next, so I'll see you then. Goodbye.